Greetings, fellow man. Servus Männer. It's Red Pill Germany again, and today I want to talk about a number of topics, but I want to start out with the heinous attacks in Nice, France, that have been carried out by a Muslim again called Mohammed, and this time he didn't use explosives or guns, he used a truck. So maybe we should ban trucks now, right? Because obviously this is a truck problem. So of course this time the media cannot blame it on guns, even though this guy actually had guns in his truck, but he killed most of the people by running over them, I think. Now this time of course they have to blame it on colonialism, or he was a loner and a weirdo and he was maybe on medication and had a hard childhood, whatever. There is a section of the German media, however, who calls these things what they really are. And they also say that the reaction of the public becomes more and more ridiculous. All these avatars on Facebook and all these je suis blah 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 statements, that come up. I mean, I stopped counting how many times people change their Facebook avatars now to the French flag and some black ribbon of mourning. It seems to become more and more frequent, these incidents, don't they? And what this German article that you can see here also states is that this period of shock and this outrage after these incidents or deeds or terrorist attacks becomes shorter and shorter, and we become ever more fast to again go back to business as usual. So of course we all know what is going on here. It is going on in the US, it is going on here in Europe. There seems to be a new kind of racial hatred that is actively targeting white people. And it was actually 3 years ago already that a German MGTOW has predicted that. A very smart man. He's a German author and writer, and he also has a blog. He publishes frequently about such topics as the feminization of society and social justice warriors. I would say he's pretty anti-socialist, and he is definitely pro-male. He's a divorced guy who will definitely not marry again, so he learned his lesson and he speaks his mind. What makes him really competent on Islam is the fact that he has actually been born in Istanbul, and he came together with his parents, who were guest workers, as a little boy to Germany by the end of the 1960s. So his mother was working in a factory, his father was a truck driver, haha, and he went to school in Germany. Now he eventually made a lot of money with non-political books, so he wrote detective stories or crime stories and became really famous and rich with that. Even a movie was made about his most famous book. Now what is so interesting about this guy is that he is actually more right-wing and more pro-German than any other German I know. So he's an immigrant from Turkey basically, who identifies very strongly with German values and German culture. And this is not a joke, I think. He actually likes it here and he loves the country. So he uses a lot of very strong language, and that gets him into conflict with the mainstream, of course, all the time. But he is one of those guys who, because he is ethnically Turkish, he can get away with it. I think this is the same phenomenon as Milo Yiannopoulos can get away with the most outrageous things he says because he's gay. And in the same way, the also platinum blonde leader of the Dutch Freedom Party is also gay, and he can get away with a lot of things because he is basically also a minority. Also, the newly formed Conservative Party in Germany has actually a very prominent female figure at the top. It is very easy to write these parties off as bitter, middle-aged, white, racist men, but when there is a woman at the top, this party can actually get away with a lot of truth, And in the same way that gay people or minorities can get away with a lot of stuff, also Akif Pirincci here can get away with a lot of strong language and a lot of pretty direct things. So, and the article I mean that he wrote 3 years ago is called "The Slaughter Has Begun." And in this article he predicts actually that we will get used to these incidents. Either that young German men will be killed and attacked at night on the weekend, just when they go out, when they come back from the pub. A mob of Muslim immigrants will basically stomp them and kill them. And this is exactly what happened before he wrote this article, actually. That was his motivation. And also these terrorist attacks, he said, that we will more and more accept them. The media will not make a big fuss about it anymore. The excitement, or the outrage, I should say, will become less and less each time it happens. The frequency of these events will go up, and people will just get used to it, like they get used to, for example, traffic accidents or natural disasters. Of course, it's a horrible loss for the family, but it's really higher power, so you can't do anything about it, right? This is the way we talk about this stuff already, like as if some forest fire had killed these people, or as if some earthquake had killed these people. I mean, this is precisely what the amazing atheist said, for example. He compared victims of Muslim terrorism with traffic victims, victims of traffic accidents. And it was Kraut and T, I think, my compatriot, who actually pointed out that this is a very horrible case of apples and oranges, because one are victims of an accident or of a natural disaster or something, and the other thing is a deliberate deed. It's murder, basically. So, and this is exactly what Akif Pirincci in his article, The Slaughter Has Begun, describes. So more and more we will see Africans and people from the Middle East just doing what the Metallica song Search and Destroy is all about, right? You're frustrated, you're young, you're male, you go out and you want to kill someone, and they want to kill white people, of course. And it is extremely interesting that Akif Pirincci could actually say that, because he is not married, because he is going his own way, and he is able to actually say what he thinks is the truth, because he is not afraid to rock the boat. He's not afraid of ending up in the doghouse. He was blacklisted, though. I mean, his books are not really forbidden in Germany, but they have all been taken out of circulation. And the irony is that it was actually the editor of a very big German gay magazine, Männer, that said that taking Akif's books out of circulation is actually worse than what the Inquisition did. Because the Inquisition, when they said that a book would be blasphemy and has to be forbidden or banned, they decided on a book-by-book basis, on a case-by-case basis they judged. But the German book industry, they took actually every one of his book out of circulation, no matter if it was a non-PC stuff or it was just a crime story, right? They just took his whole stuff out of the catalog, out of the circulation. Yeah, so these are the things that you sometimes don't even get away with when you are a migrant, and a legal migrant from the late 60s, but nevertheless, I mean, he got away with a lot of stuff because he has Turkish origins. But yeah, even that didn't save him from being blacklisted basically now. And doesn't that say a lot about our Western society? If you have to be either a woman or a migrant or gay in order to say what you actually think, and if a middle-aged white man would say the exact same thing, it would be completely unacceptable. And the party will be destroyed by the mainstream media within a week. But they cannot do that to the Front National because it's Marine Le Pen who is at the front, right? And they cannot do that to the Dutch Freedom Party because there is a gay person with platinum blonde hair at the top. And they also cannot write the AfD, the Alternative for Germany, the new conservative party, off as a evil middle-aged white man Nazi party so easily, because they also have a woman at the top now. And maybe this is also the reason why Karen Strawn and Diana Davison, for example, are so prominent in the men's rights movement, because this is basically a social immune response to these mainstream media threats. I mean, these movements, if you think of them as organisms, they came up with this immune answer, with this survival strategy to the regressive left and the mainstream media. They just put some minority or some woman, some gay person at the front, and then you can say, oh, look, Milo Yiannopoulos is supporting Trump, so he cannot be that bad. For example, a black person said this and that, or Akif Pirincci, who's Turkish, he said this and that, so even a Turkish person says that, or a woman. Yeah, and there is nothing wrong with that. It is actually, I mean, I'm not saying that these parties are two-faced or something, or that they just use these people or something. It's just very sad that in our day and age, that ideas are not evaluated by their merit, but by the skin color or the sex or the sexual orientation of the person who puts forth these ideas. So a white middle-aged man has actually a hard time to get away with provocative ideas in the public sector these days. So, when all your Facebook friends will change their avatars again and they have again the French flag there and they say, Je suis, blah 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 blah, just have Akif Pirincci in mind with his article, The Slaughter Has Begun. And just have an eye on the frequency and the media response that these terrorist attacks will have. Well, one can say one thing at least more and more people have understood what is going on now, and maybe in the near future we will see some consequences to this realization. So, thanks for stopping by again, have a great day nonetheless, and Servus, Kameraden!